Hello, ladies. Welcome to Propel Online. We're so glad you're here tonight. This is actually the second Monday of the month. So if it was normal times, we would all be gathered together. We would be eating right about now. We would be starting our video. We would be talking. There would be all kinds of connection happening. So in lieu of that, we've got a couple of special things planned tonight. I think it's going to be fun. This is our official Propel night. The other nights are just kind of chats, getting together, a little bit low pressure, nothing too big. But tonight, we just want to take a little extra time and hope you can be with us for about an hour. All right, so there's a few things that are going to happen tonight. The first one is a game. Yes, a game. I'm going to try to endeavor to do this. So on the side of your, if you're on a computer, it's onto the right-hand side of you. If you're on a phone, it's beneath you. But there is a chat roll there. Hopefully you've checked in. Hopefully you've logged in with a name. And even if it's a weird name because your name's already been taken, you just find a really funny one and that's kind of your name when you come on here. But anyway, we're going to play not name that tune, but kind of fill in the word of whatever song this is. And so what you're going to do is get on your keyboard, make sure you're all logged in, ready to go. And I'm just going to start out with words. Then we'll move to phrases. So I'm going to do a few songs, secular songs, songs that have been around a while, and see how you do. So I'm going to pause, and that's when you put in the word. All right? Here we go. Sorry, I need my glasses. 'Cause you light up my life. You give me. Did you get the word? And the answer is song number 2. Raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the guy who's what a strange song. All right. And the answer is just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. There you go. That's poetry right there. All right, here we go. Then I saw her face. Now that was pretty tough, huh? Go ahead and sing it with me. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Then I saw her face. No doubt in my mind. All right. Okay, the next one. Here. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. Did you get it? And the answer is West Virginia. All right, let's do just a couple church songs. I chose some older ones like hymns of the church. So some of you maybe grew up in a Catholic, Lutheran, Protestant church, whatever. This might really help bring back some memories from your childhood. I love these songs. Holy, holy, holy. Phrase. I'm going to do that one again. Not a word this time, a phrase. Holy, holy, holy. All right, how about this one? Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. Now that one might be a little difficult. It's long, and you have to really know the song. But I think it's worth doing again because it's such a great song. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. but I hope you did. It's a great song. All right, this one is old, but so good. Maybe from the early 2000s or 1990s, but you might know it. Shout to the Lord of the earth, let us free. That's a phrase. Try it again. Shout to the Lord of the earth, let us sing power. And the answer is power and majesty, praise to the King. All right, this is kind of going way back to the 80s, maybe the 70s. See if you know these church songs or this church song. What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. Here's a phrase. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve. Try one more time. What a mighty God we serve. What a mighty God we serve. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve. And the answer is, put it in the chat roll. All right. Last one. I think this is very appropriate for right now. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your... One more time. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your... I just thought we'd end with this, the kids' song. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day to learn. Do you know that song? Like it's the Arthur theme song. I love that song actually. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day to learn and get along with each other. I love it. Absolutely love it. So one of the things we talked about before tonight is all these shared experiences that we're experiencing. We're all going through the same things in different ways. And some of the things that I talked to Renee about is just we're all experiencing uncertainty, our routines being flipped upside down, some financial pressures, some financial questions, wondering how long this is going to last, wondering if people that we love are going to be affected, wondering if these symptoms that somebody has and I was around actually are proving to be something that is dangerous. Feeling a loss of something, the 3D human contact that we so desperately need. Routines that are just busted up. You know, we used to work out and walk at this time and do all of these things, and now maybe they're all kind of weird because the family's all under one roof. You're trying to figure it out. I'm not sure, but we're all experiencing common things, and that's really what we addressed today with Dr. Bourdeaux, and she just shed some very authentic light on something that is just pretty significant, pretty real. And so if you watched all the way through, it's 20 minutes. And then right after that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you about what to do next. We're going to go into our Zoom calls, and I hope you stick around because we've made it really easy tonight for you to participate in the Zoom calls. And I think you're going to enjoy the rest of the evening. So without further ado, here's Dr. Bourdeaux. Hey ladies, I want to introduce you to somebody very special. Her name is Dr. Renee Bourdeaux. Hi, Dr. Renee.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
By popular demand, you have asked me to have her back. So she was there when we were in Florida in February. She came and preached for us. Absolutely everybody loved you. Everybody, Renee. It was crazy. I heard so many things, even in Florida, people were texting. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. So when the time came, excuse my microwave, I've got somebody cooking. Renee, how are you doing in this beautiful time of quarantine?
This beautiful time in quarantine. Well, first of all, thank you so much for asking me. I feel blessed that I reached out and touched some of the women. That's always my prayer when I'm invited to talk anywhere, is that the Lord works through all of the interactions and all of the words. So I'm thankful to have the opportunity to reach out to women at your church again. Time in quarantine has been a little bit unique for me. I am an extrovert. So for me, this has been it's kind of been a painful time. Now my house it's mixed, right? I have an introvert for a husband who's this is his birthday present. To be quarantined at home with his family for 2 months is like the best. And his birthday was just this weekend. That's what I said. Like, you got your birthday present. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just be at home with your family. But then, so him and my daughter are the same. And then my son and I are both the extroverts, and I am missing people a lot. So this interaction is good, but it's not as good as if I could see you in person, Diane, and give you a big hug.
I know, it's so true. And kind of we talked about with our prep for tonight is that we're all experiencing similar things, but we don't really know how to talk about them. And some of them are very, very stressful. And some things are just like, what in the world do we do now? Like, I think the expectations are pretty high that we're supposed to be or do or feel things differently than what we are. And sometimes when we don't feel the way we're supposed to, it's kind of like, seriously, what am I supposed to do with how I feel? How would you say that you've experienced that in the last month?
I will, in full disclosure, I'll say I don't think I handled it really well in the beginning. I was trying to do everything the same that I was doing in the old way of doing things. And so I teach at Northwest, and my old way of doing things was driving to campus and going in and being with the students and preparing my lecture and having all the technology and the ability to see my students one-on-one and leaving my house to do this. But now I'm in the same small house with my husband and my children who are also trying to do things online and trying to do all of the same things. And so by the end of the first week, I was feeling, in full disclosure, full honesty, like I wanted to quit my job. Like, it wasn't fun. It felt super stressful. I was spending all of this time in planning and in preparation. And I was thinking, because I don't know if you have the same friends groups or the same types of friends on their social media points, but they were like, oh, quarantine, cleaning my garage, cleaning my house. Oh, look at my children. They're doing their schoolwork. They're sitting in their they've had breakfast. And I said to my boss at the end of the first week, she's like, how's homeschooling going? And I'm like, well, I'm getting an F because I don't actually know what my children are doing during the day because I'm supposed to be working.
So true.
So, I'm not posting about my children doing all these amazing things because I'm trying to figure out how to do my job differently.
Right.
And I couldn't be perfect.
Right.
I felt like it was all falling apart.
How did that affect you emotionally? Like, when you were feeling like, were you just like feeling like that was abnormal or normal? Or, were you feeling like you should be feeling something different?
Well, so for starters, I felt like I was the only one who didn't have it together because it looked like
that's it, right? Yeah. That's me too.
You get on Zoom with other people and they had it together. They had clothes on. They looked like they showered and like they were happy. And I'm like, well, okay. Here I am. And yes, I did shower, but I don't feel happy on the inside.
Yeah,
and that was frustrating to me. And, I think one of the things that I realized after the first week is in my routines, I forgot about all of the things that I used to do a week or two prior that actually took care of myself, like remembering to drink water, like getting up and walking around during the day, like taking prayer time, and like all of the normals I forgot about. In the span of a week, all the pieces fell apart, and I didn't know how to put them all back together. If you will, they were Legos and I had all the right pieces, but they were all over my house and I didn't know how to put all the pieces of me back together in a way that were functional.
Yeah. That is perfect analogy. That's awesome.
And so for me, and I had to decide, what do I need to do to figure out how to start getting it back together? And I had to start trying some new strategies. And actually one is a new strategy that I hadn't even been using before this. I had to download an app called Pause. And it's an app that has these devotionals that are 1 minute, and it's like a game, right? So you have to do so many 1 minute ones before you can get to the 3 minute ones. And then the longer you do them, the more you can play. But so the 1 minute, it's really, it has a peaceful background. And in that peaceful background, the whole time, the guy just leads you through a meditation about giving it to God. Jesus, I need you. Like, take this from me. God, I need you in everything that I do. And that minute made a big difference.
So
and the 3 minute one actually has a point at the beginning that reminds you to take some deep breaths, which is really good to just reset and then give it to God. There's actually points where he pauses and says, what do you need to give to God right now? And just do it. But I'll tell you, even though I'm going to all of these same meetings like I would be if I was on campus, when I have that 5 minutes of not walking, I can do a 3 minute pause.
Right.
Give it all to God and be like, wow, that makes such a huge difference.
That's incredible. Is it just a normal on your phone, Google Play, or?
Well, I have an Apple, so it looks like this. It's just a little pause. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little pause sign, and I'll even show you. It's from the book Get Your Life Back by John Eldredge. And here's like, good evening, Renee. Here's a 1 minute pause. And if I play it, you can see even this beautiful little background.
Wow, so good.
It says, Jesus, I give everyone and everything to you. And so he's reading this, right? So I'm just can give it to God and just meditate. And it's got some nice music. I don't know. You probably can't hear this through the text.
Well, how many times do you do it a day?
Well, so you're supposed to start by setting an alarm to do it a couple of times a day so you don't forget. So I set alarms on my phone that remind me during my busiest moments of time. And then I get a notification that says it's time for your pause. And then I can just, because I can feel my notifications come on my Fitbit, which also reminds me to walk. This has been a lifesaver in quarantine because I'm sitting here and not moving ever, looking at this screen. And when it's like, okay, you have 10 minutes to get 250 steps, I'm up, and now my family thinks it's a joke, right? Because they can hear me pacing all over, but they know I have 10 minutes to get 250 steps.
That's absolutely incredible because I sit for hours and I'm like, I didn't even get up and I even forgot to eat lunch because I wasn't hungry. And I'm like, what is going on? That is really good. So the Fitbit and the pause.
Yes, those have been really helpful to help me. And the other thing I would say is just being honest with people. After that first week, when somebody actually said, hey, how's it going? Instead of that, like, hey, it's amazing, because I'm normally more inclined to being positive, but I wasn't feeling positive on the inside at all. I could put on this fake exterior, but it wasn't feeling real. And when my boss actually said to me, how's it going? I just released and I was like, I'm giving this to God and she needs to know I'm struggling. And I said to her, not good.
That's
I'm
great.
not liking my job. All of these pieces aren't fitting together. But it was in that moment of sharing my brokenness that she was the one who said, you need to find some more time to plug into God. And that's the night I downloaded the Pause app.
And what difference has the Pause app made for you?
Oh, it gives me that, it reminds me that God is walking next to me. And, music is how I communicate with the Lord and how I kind of see the Lord's leading in a lot of things. And, Hurricane, that song by Natalie Grant, He'll Find You in a Hurricane. In the midst of all of this, I feel kind of like, even though it's peaceful on the outside, in my house, it kind of feels like a hurricane sometimes. Dishes are there and there's laundry to be done. But I'm sitting here trapped behind my computer, looking at all of the chaos, feeling alone, feeling broken. But I'm not alone, right? I have my family, but beyond that, in my heart, in this battle, I have the Lord with me. And that's a reminder, I'm not battling alone.
And you've had to be intentional about that. You've literally had to intentionally go there and get your head there and get yourself rearranged for that. It sounds like you've been very, very good to yourself. You've
Well,
listened
and
to
it took some time.
yeah. But now the rewards are great because you don't know. This could be another month. This could be another 2. We don't know how long it's going to be, right? But you've kind of settled into now what you need as a person, what your relationship and what settles your heart. It's different for your husband. It's different for your kids, right?
It's absolutely different.
Yeah. And you said music speaks to me and the pause, and I need to be reminded to walk, and I need to be reminded to do this. And it's just so great because what I hear you say is I'm listening to myself. I'm listening to what I need. I'm paying attention to me. Mm-hmm. And when my body and my heart and my spirit, and they're all agitated, I'm listening and I'm letting God lead me. And what a huge takeaway. Mm-hmm. Huge takeaway. Relationally within your household, and I just kind of want to close with this. Relationally within your household, any strategies for trying to navigate multiple people under one roof in quarantine?
So, there's a couple of different strategies. So I will say, number one, that I'm building relationships in my house and so I use in my life, navigating all my relationships, I model the way Jesus modeled relationship with boundaries. And he used the 1-3-5 principle, or the 1-3-12 principle, a lot. There are hundreds of people in the world. If I look at my social media list alone, if I just count the number of, siblings and nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles and whatever, my network can be huge and everybody can need me at some point in time. But the way Jesus modeled a relationship is he had the 12 disciples, the people that were closest to us, that we were entrusted to be in relationship with the most, the godly counsel around us. That's who needs a lot of our time. But beyond that, the 3, like Jesus still, from the people who needed us at work or like the closer family relationships, Peter, James, and John were closest to him. And so that 3 meant that even though there are important people, there are the most important people. And for me, those 3 live in my house. It's my husband and my children. But even beyond that, the one, Jesus he was there for God, right? The Father was the person who was the most important. So that one has to be the person who you have around you. And for me, that's my husband. And so if that's the direction that I'm cultivating out, I have to start with God. God is my God spot. And there's some really good research that Danny Silk actually talks about, where he's talking about how to keep your love on, and just in relationships in general. The God spot has to be the most important because everything flows from that. So, right, I was losing control of that. So there was no way my family could work out because I was losing control of starting my focus on how God wants me to see love, how God wants me to build relationship, how God wants me to fight with the uniqueness he's given me, with the tools he's given me. I couldn't see that if I didn't start with that. But then that one, I have to cultivate my relationship with my spouse first. Now, he is my number one. I don't know for other people who that number one is around you. But for me, that's my husband. So I still have to make time for him. So we go for walks without our children and without our dog, because without any other date nights or ways we can go out to dinner or to a movie, like I still have to honor him and our relationship and give him that time, which has to look different now since the 4 of us are in the same house for the entirety of the day. But also then the next 3 are my children, and I only have 2 children, right? But I had to the campus was closed Thursday, Friday, because we have reading days, and I could have worked on research, and I should have probably been writing some final exams because I don't know how I'm going to do them online yet, but whatever. Like the other 2 are still important to me, right? If I'm modeling Jesus the way he says to create relationship, then I needed to give time. And I said, you know what? I'm giving half a day to one child, half a day to the other child. And we sat at lunch. We made a list of all of the things we wanted to do in our house or so we went for walks. My son and I went for a bike ride. I'm still healing from, I wiped out. I have all these bruises from, trying to adventure outside. But that half day I spent with my child, not being able to go to the mall or do any of the other normal things, it's really like, this is a memory I will have forever. And the relationship I cultivated with them was important, right? It was part of the way God wanted us to model relationship, following Jesus's model of the 1 and the 3 and the 12. And yes, there are 12, right? So which of the 12, which of my friends or my family gets my attention? Well, my mom and dad, who are feeling isolated on the farm, right? So then I have to start building. But once I get beyond that 12, that's where Jesus shows we have to trust the way God has built the kingdom. There are other people in the kingdom doing things. You are doing an amazing job at your church. And, even before we started recording this, Diane, when you and I were having a conversation, you talk about all these women and you feel this, like you want to reach out to all of them, but that's a lot of people. But what God has trusted you to do is find resources and connect people and give them ideas, because there is a beautiful community of people out there that are walking alongside other people. We're not in this alone. The Lord is walking with us through all of this. But we have to remember to pause. We have to remember to go and talk to him so he knows. And we know that we're in this together.
So you've also been intentional about narrowing down your relationships in your life and your time. You're going to spend it with God first.
Yep.
Make sure your husband is taken care of, your family is taken care of, and then let it spill out to the 12. Pick who those are. And then whatever's left, others get that. But you have a lot of students. You've got a lot of people. You've got a lot of responsibilities. You have got a lot of things pulling at you. Mm-hmm. So it's refreshing that you actually took your life back.
Yeah.
You decided, I'm not going to give over my life to this craziness. I'm going to take it back. And I am going to be in the driver's seat. And this is how it's going to go based on what I believe about the biblical model. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you. I may or may not, if I can get on your calendar again in the next couple of weeks, ask to do this again, because you are a wealth of wisdom. And I just am so thankful for you taking this time. We're going to break up and now talk in our groups about this. But would you be so kind as just to pray us out? Would you just pray over us and then pray us out as we go into our calls?
I can, yes. Thank you so much for, first of all, this technology that allows us through the technology platforms to be able to still come together in community. Lord, you designed us to be in community with one another and to be able to reach out and connect with other people, because, Lord, in your kingdom, you have gifted each of us uniquely, and the ways we are able to touch and love each other really just makes your kingdom that much stronger. For all of the women that are going to be in these discussion groups and being purposeful about talking about this material, I pray for, first of all, Lord, that you help them find time with you, Lord. Lord, that you open up their eyes to the tools and the time and the resources around them. Maybe it's the Pause app. Maybe it's pulling out their Bible. Lord, maybe they're journalers. Maybe, Lord, they haven't really pulled out their Bible a lot lately. And so this is going to be your call on their heart to pull that out. But however you are speaking to each of these women, Lord, I pray that you clearly illuminate for them a way that they can reach out to you, whether they're at home or they're feeling overwhelmed by children or circumstances or illness or finances, or maybe, Lord, they're one of your children that are essential workers and they're serving our community in ways that are powerful but exhausting for them. And Lord, I pray that even in those circumstances, in all those circumstances, that you open and make a way. Lord, you are a way maker. And for all of these women, I pray that you make a way for them to connect with you. Yes. Beyond your relationship with them, Lord, I pray that you also help them to really reflect on the people around them that they can love, that you reveal to them the ones closest to them that really need their love, and then also help them to be able to trust you and the way that you have crafted your community, and let them know that there are other people out there that can also care for the many children in your kingdom that they're in contact with. Lord, help them to be able to set healthy boundaries so that they can reset, so that, Lord, if any of them are feeling like I was, that their pieces of their life were scattered around like Legos, that you can help them to construct their normalness, their life, their path forward one by one, putting the pieces back together, walking, knowing that you are next to them, providing them strength and guidance, Lord. And Lord, thank you for this time together. And I pray for beautiful conversations with these women, and that the conversations bring about change and a path forward. In your name we pray.
Amen. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting with us. And
You are welcome.
thanks for praying for us. We really appreciate that. We'll be praying for you too. I'm going to ask the ladies to make sure they pray for you before they close out tonight. So you will be covered as well. Thanks for your time. Thanks for just being you. God bless you, my dear. I hope to see you in a few more weeks. We might do this again just for a little bit.
Bless you too. Oh, I'd be happy to.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, ladies, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. She was a sheer delight. We could have talked forever. And we actually did. After we got off the recorded call, we talked another hour. But it was just fantastic. And she's a delight. And so we'll have her back for sure. Now it's time for our Zoom calls. Don't be afraid. Be brave. On the side chat, you're going to see a bunch of Zoom calls. They're links. You know what to do. Go ahead and hit on one of those. Make sure you have the password. You might have to use the password to get in. But grab the password. Don't be afraid. If you don't know what Zoom room you are in or where you should go, just put it in the chat. Hey, could somebody help me? And we will be right on it to make sure you get to the place that you need to go to start having some conversation with real people. It's just going to be great. If you can only come 5 minutes, not a problem. If you can come for longer, that would be great. But we just want to connect. It's important that we connect together. I'm so glad you came tonight. I am so glad that we are connecting this way. And go and have some fun. It is time to go to your Zoom room. God bless you. Thanks for being here tonight. See you next week.